Welcome to the show. This is Randy's Corner, and I'm your host, Randy Clark. And thanks for tuning in. I got a couple announcements I'd like to make this morning, and then we're going to talk to my special guest, Jonathan Douglas, and we're going to talk about what's going on, all the excitement at the tennis center. But first, I'd like to mention this past Friday night at Food Truck Friday at Central Park across from Bluebell. What a fantastic job that Steve Masters and Lauren has done. The park was packed, and we had some great food trucks there. I believe it's the biggest one we've had, and they're just going to keep getting bigger. The music guys, Jake Skinner and Connor Bendel, I think I'm saying right, they was fantastic. Played the whole time. So next time we got Food Truck Friday coming up, y'all make sure you attend. And also, I'd like for everybody to say a little prayer for my friends Denise and Benny Meadows, who lost their brother Don Meadows this week. And great guy. I'd like to tell a little story about Don, if I may, real quick. When we was kids and we was going to Camp Helen in Panama City, Florida, Don was one of the lifeguards. Don was one of my heroes. All the ladies loved him. The kids, we loved Don. The girls loved Don. Such a great guy, and he will be missed. And I love you, Denise and Benny, and we're praying for you. Okay, now let's get to Jonathan. What kind of excitement we got going on at the tennis center, Jonathan? It is fantastic. You go by there and the place is packed. Tell us what all we got going on there.
It's kind of overwhelming, to tell you the truth. 5 or 6 months ago, we had this idea to get some agility programs going. We had this idea to get team tennis going, and we've kind of modeled it after Spain. Actually, is one of the most productive countries at producing players, tennis players especially, but just great athletes. And so they have a system where they bring young people in, they have them be mentored by the older players, and they teach them tennis plus agility plus nutrition plus injury prevention. And so that transition, though, that mentoring of the older with the younger creates this bond where they just have this entire movement of, they always have kids coming in and they always have people moving up to the professional ranks. And so when we got here from Washington, I hoped that we'd have like this amazing tennis program, and we do. We have such an amazing tennis center, and we have this amazing opportunity to do this. And we have created something where the high school kids are genuinely excited about being mentors, and they're out there teaching. And I've got 24 little ones who most of them have never touched a tennis racket or know very little about it. And they're out there just working so hard. And then we got the separate thing where we just have agility kids, and the agility kids are just coming out and working super hard too. And they're just doing footwork and drills. And when kids want to come out and run in the sun and do something, then that's kind of an unusual thing. So we've got energy going at the tennis center. If you drive by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, you're going to see those courts packed. Yes. With kids and with good energy, and it's amazing. It really is amazing.
I think Chris might have some pictures he's going to show, but
sure.
It is amazing to go by there. Tell us what's going on here.
So there we are. This was our first night. So that was Thursday afternoon, actually, and we're just kind of orienting the kids. You can see Jordan right there, one of our players, Josie right across the net. The high school players, it's so good for them because I tell them over and over, this is what you're doing right and wrong, and then after class, they said, you know what, those kids are doing what you told us, and now I see what you're saying. Like, I've never understood you said I've been bringing my racket back too far, but I see that they're doing it. So here we are last night. We're getting ready at the end of practice to run lines, and those kids ran those suicide sprints. They had never done it before. They worked so hard, and they just loved it. And so it's we got a generation. This is the silly setup. What I've figured out is I've usually used cones, and cones are kind of our traditional target. It's hard to hit a cone, but those kids love hitting a flamingo.
Sure they do.
They love it. I just blew those things up.
You're making it fun also.
No, they have so much fun, and if they ring the target, that's all they talk about. I put one in, I put one in. You know, they raise their hand, and And so we make a big deal, and this is Zach, and Zach has ambitions of being a tennis instructor. At some point, he's our number one on the boys. And I mean, this is the good energy we got out there. They put them around their neck. The kids love the older ones. The older ones are just loving these kids,
Right.
and they're all connected, and it's just been, it's everything that I hoped it would be.
Right.
It really is. So
Right.
it's been wonderful. It
Right.
just really is.
Well, you know, speaking of the tennis players, but the agility course is not necessarily just for tennis players, right?
No, if you come to the courts, you'll see that there was a concrete pad. It used to have a wall for us to hit, but that wall failed at some point and is gone. So we had a flat space that was wasted. I've created an agility pad because we were always bringing agility equipment out and putting it back up. That didn't make any sense. So I painted what's called a ladder. Most of the kids had never seen a ladder, so taught them how to use a ladder. We've got some dots where they do figure eights. They learn how to weave in and out. They learn to shuffle, and they learn to run. We've also got a 4-cone set up where they learn to run, back pedal, and shuffle. And so the kids know that there's a warm-up. All of my kids that do this, they have a set warm-up, and they know that they need to get there early and do their warm-up. But that being said, they show up at random times. I'll be teaching a lesson, and I'll just see the kids out hitting with their parents, and they're on the pad.
Right.
And boy, I try to make a big deal of that. I'm like, boy,
Right.
you're doing a great job. And they'll run more. I mean, I tell them bare minimum, we're going to do this twice. I'll see them do it 4, 8 times. Like, I didn't get that right. I want to get this right. I want to get this right. And when the footwork comes along, the whole game changes. But with agility, we've got a lot of baseball players that are also there because baseball is very much footwork based, and in practice they don't have a lot of time to do that. And so my agility course starts again June 22nd. We just ran one, and we've seen 20-30% improvement in times in 6 weeks. So if you can get 5% in 6 weeks, then we literally are seeing 20-30% improvement in these kids because they've just never done footwork in a
Right.
dedicated way.
Right.
And so our next session, we're going to work on reaction times. We figured out that when we blow the whistle, they delay. And if you're in baseball and a ball comes to you and you delay moving, you're not going to get to that ball. In
Exactly.
tennis, if it comes, you're not going to get to that ball. So we're working on reaction time, and then we're also working on running form. That's going to be our number one thing because if they're not moving correctly, there are all kinds of things that are going on. But we love agility, and it's not just for tennis. I have 6 spots left on this one for this summer. I expect it's going to fill up by the end of this week, and we're just going to work them hard. But those kids go out in the sun, they run drills, and they work hard for an hour, and that it keeps them off TikTok and video games
That's
and
right.
whatever. Yeah,
They're
it's
having
great.
a blast.
fun.
They're having fun.
They are.
Last night when I come by there, I couldn't believe the excitement that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they're having a good time, it also means like they want to do more.
That's exactly right.
They want to do more. And you mentioned that you do have another class coming up when?
June 22nd, we start that one. That's the first one. And if there's an app called Court Reserve, that's the best way to find out everything that's going on at the tennis center. But then my cell phone, 360-903-0590, is a good way to get in touch. If you send me a text, I'll talk to you about whatever's happening. And then Lauren is so great, and Steve but Lauren is the main contact at the rec center. She knows everything going on too. So go
Right.
talk to Lauren. She's so helpful. She saves me on all of that. So
Right.
yeah, go talk to Lauren. And but we'd love to have it. We got, like I said, 6 more spots, and I got a lot of people interested. So
Right.
I expect it's going to fill up quickly. I don't want to make it so. At some point, we're going to scale this up. But right now, I'm trying to keep it kind of limited where we can do an excellent job and get this dialed in, because in the future, it's just going to flow into bigger and bigger, and then I can have the high school students have some summer jobs. And we've got 1 or 2 that are going to do that already. But I want to see that not only are they mentoring tennis kids, but can I get my tennis players to mentor agility, because then their agility gets so much better if they teach it.
Exactly.
So, it's great.
Okay, Jonathan, we only got about a minute to go. I
Yep.
want to talk about pickleball for a minute.
Pickleball.
All right, go ahead and tell us what we got going on Tuesday nights from 5 to 8 o'clock.
We play pickleball, and we are a pickleball group that accepts everyone. So if you go to pickleball in other areas, you might be shunned.
Right.
We've seen it. We've both been kicked
Right.
out of groups. You're not playing with us. We don't know who you are. That does not happen. People show up on Tuesday nights. I run free drills. Beginners always come to me. I work on the basics. I make sure they're comfortable. If it takes the whole 2 hours, I don't care. We work on basics. As soon as they get comfortable, they move over to other courts and start getting to play. And our advanced players are really good about coming over and helping the beginners. And so we're fostering this situation. It's kind of like the mentoring thing again. We're just creating a pickleball community. And pickleball is the future. It really is.
Exactly. Sylacauga pickleball, it don't matter if you started tonight or you started 10 years ago. We
Yep.
treat everybody as an equal.
That's exactly right. That's our motto.
Jonathan, thank you for coming in
Appreciate
and
it.
explaining the agility course, tennis. Y'all are doing a fantastic job. We can't get away without thanking Steve Masters and his
great.
staff
Absolutely.
at the rec center and what you're doing and what these tennis players are doing. And come on out, let's play some pickleball on Tuesday nights from 5 to 8, the Sylacauga Tennis Center. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.